Hello to all of our Eagles out there. Welcome to CTC Live Blackboard Edition. We are so excited that you're either joining us live today or watching the recorded version. Either way is fantastic. We're just happy that you're here and wanting to learn more about Blackboard, which is our virtual classroom. So the very first thing I want to do is just introduce you to really what Blackboard is. So this is our learning management system that we have, and we utilize it in all of our classes at CTC. So whether you are taking online classes, lecture courses, hybrid classes, whatever delivery mode you are taking, you will have a Blackboard component that contains lots of great information for you. So without further ado, let's get into that, and let me share my screen with you today. And give me just a second to get that pulled up. And while it is doing that, I guess I should introduce myself. My name is Angela Reese, and I'm a professor in the business department. So if you need anything regarding business, be sure to reach out to me. And if you need anything else too, one of the biggest things we always like to share with our students is that we are here to support you and help you. And we want you to communicate with us often and always. So now you should see my screen, and where I'm at is just our homepage. I always like to start making sure that students know how to get to their classroom. So the easiest way to get there is going straight to Blackboard. However, your first time, I want to show you a few different ways that you can get there. So again, this is our homepage, ctcd.edu. You just type that in and go to our homepage. From there, you can go over student tools, hover over that, and then you'll go down to Blackboard. While I'm here, I'll just point out that there are several other tools that are available to you. If you are, again, new to CTC and just not really sure where things are, be sure to take some time and explore the tools that are available to you, as well as the other resources for our current students. So let's get into Blackboard. Once you click on Blackboard, it's going to bring you to ctc.blackboard.com. Now, this is a separate site from our website. So if something were to ever happen and you couldn't remember our website or it went down momentarily, you could still access Blackboard without having to go through the CTC homepage. So you would just type in ctc.blackboard.com. And what I would do if I were you is I would save this as a favorite on your browser. Speaking of browser, the two best browsers to use are going to be Firefox or Google Chrome. These are the best ones to use when you are utilizing Blackboard. Now let's talk about getting into our classes. You're going to need a username and you're going to need a password. It's pretty easy. Your username is just going to be your student ID. So it's going to be that lowercase c and then the 7-digit number. And then your password is going to be your date of birth, month, day, year. If you forget what I'm telling you right now, that is okay because we have steps to help you remember. Just below this, you will see Blackboard login instructions. If I click on that, it is going to bring me to a page that is not only going to give me that information, but also give me a place to call just in case I have an issue. You will see here that everything I just talked through is going to give you that in the written form and even going to give you an example of what a username and a password would be. So again, that username is just your student ID and your password is your date of birth, month, day, year. So if you were born today, your your password would be 081925. So let's get back to that login screen. From there, if you are thinking, well, that's great, Dr. Reese, but I don't know what my student ID is. So then you would click on Blackboard username lookup, and it will bring you to the following screen to where you would enter your first name, last name, date of birth, and that you are not a robot, and then it will send you that information to your email. From there, if you're still just having complete problems, nothing is working, you can't figure it out, you might want to click on the Contact Us page, and that is going to bring you to the Blackboard technical support to where you can then go in and get further help and even find the phone numbers, how to email, and just have all of those resources for you should you run into any issues. And again, this is something that you can reach out to them 24/7. They are here to support you. So once you have all of that figured out, we're typing in our username, typing in our password, and it's going to bring you to your page. So once you are here, you will notice here that I have a lot of courses that I am showing for this student, Mr. Calvin Hobbs. He has been on a lot of courses over the years. But before we dig into the meat and the potatoes of a specific course, I really want to show you a little bird's eye view of Blackboard, if you will. This is not a view that you have to use. I just want to show you the resources that are there for you. And this is going to be everything on the left-hand side in this gray, light black colored area on the left-hand side of the page. So again, that is going to be the eagle eye view so that you can see from a distance what is going on in all of your courses across your CTC classes. So the very first thing is at the very top is going to be the institution page. Now this is where you're going to go just for resources. So your first time in Blackboard, or even just once you get comfortable with things and you might want to explore a few things, you are able to go in and find a variety of different general resources for anyone on the CTC webpage, but then also specific student resources that you would be able to find. Below this institution page, you will see your name. So in this case, you're seeing Calvin Hobbs. He is my fictitious student, and you are able to go in and make a few edits if you choose. So if you wanted to, for example, add in the pronunciation of your name, if you wanted to change your password, add your phone number, these are all items that you would be able to provide that would be viewable. On the right-hand side, I want to point out a few things to you. You are able to get notifications sent to your email and also pushed through the app. If you are getting a ton of them and you want to turn some of them off, or if you only want to know specific things, you're able to go in and edit those. So for example, if we wanted to edit our email notifications on the right-hand side over here, we're going to click on email notifications. And it's going to allow me to make changes. So right now, Calvin has it set up to email him once a day. And these are all of the areas that he wants to be notified in. For me personally, in my own Blackboard course as an instructor, something that is very important to me is knowing if I have a new message from my students. So I will click on new messages. So it will email me to notify me that there is something available for me to look at in one of my courses. Of course, you do need to save if that is something that you want to update. But I'm going to go back in here, and all three of these you can edit from this screen or even once you were inside. You will see at the top here, this is the streaming notification that looks kind of like a world. Then we have the mail that is the email, and then the little bell that is going to be that push notification that goes to the app if you have the Blackboard app. Speaking of the app, it is something that you can download and add to your device, but we do not suggest trying to do exams or quizzes on that. And in most cases, oftentimes we've been told that that just doesn't work for most of our students. So it's a great tool for you if you need to shoot a message out to your instructor, but it's best for you to complete your assignments actually on some type of computer. So as you can see here, I'm able to change these notifications. Again, email we talked about. Now the last one is going to be the stream notifications. So on the left-hand side of the screen in that black area, our eagle eye view for activity, this is where that would be displayed. So you can see right now that Calvin has everything being displayed in that area. So let's go ahead and X out of here, and we will go over to the activity. Again, this is that eagle eye view of something that is going on in all of Calvin's classes. So if there are important announcements, you can dismiss all of these. You will see that he hasn't read any of them because that's not his preferred view of looking at the activity. But if you wanted to, this would be an area for you to be able to just see what is going on in your classes and in all of your classes all at one time. And if you look at this one and you say, okay, yep, I realize that the extra credit is past due, I'm going to go ahead and dismiss it. And I can continue to dismiss throughout all of those notifications. But until you do that, that will not go away. Below activity, you have your courses, and this is going to show you again where I logged into. It is showing us all of the courses in which Calvin is enrolled. I'm going to skip down to our calendar. Again, bird's eye, eagle eye view here. So this is just on the day of today, which is August 19th, but I can change this to the month. And when I change it to the month, now granted our classes just started yesterday, and some of course are starting today, but you will see here two different colors. And if you're not able to tell that, there's kind of a light purple here and maybe a fuchsia color on the next due date, but this is showing Calvin all of the assignments that are due. And you will notice that there are 3 more that are due all on the 31st. So if we wanted to go in and change it to the day so that we could specifically see what was due on the 31st, we're just going to skip through until we get to the 31st of August. And we're going to scroll down to see all of those items. You will notice that a lot of them are showing at the end of the day. A lot of your instructors will have things due at 11:59 p.m. Others might have very specialized times, specific times that they have, but the majority of us do have those set up at the end of the day, which is why you will see so many down there at the very bottom. But again, I can zoom back out and I can go to the next month for September, and I will see the next due dates that Calvin has assigned for all of his classes. Below calendar, you will see messages. When you click on messages, again, eagle eye view for our messages to where we will see all of the messages that Calvin has in all of his classes that he is taking. Below this, eagle eye view of the grades. Personally, this is not my preferred method of looking at it, but you might like to see how things look overall in your classes. I like to go into the specific classes so that I'm sure what I'm looking at, but this might be something that is very beneficial to you if you are just in a hurry, wanting to kind of see how things are going, what your grades are looking like, maybe something that you've been waiting on to be submitted and graded. You can just take a peek here without having to go into your course. Below this, we have our assist area. Now, this is going to be a great resource for you. If you did not already know, we have an amazing academic studio, support services, career center, library, you name it. It's here for you. So if you have any questions or feel concerned or want to outreach to any of these departments, you're able to go to this assist for assistance and easily get in touch with people from the variety of the areas that are listed here. You will also see that we have disability support. So if you are somebody who might have a disability at the collegiate level, you do have to self-disclose that to us. So you would just reach out to them and talk to them about the disability that you have. Financial aid is also here. And one that I really want to point out to you, Grammarly. You can get a free account right here so that you are able to proofread your own work as you go along. You can also have the library staff proofread your work and review your written work prior to submitting it. We have wonderful individuals there, as well as from our communications department that have faculty that will go through and review the work that you have before you submit it, making sure that you have your punctuation, your MLA or EPA, whatever format that your instructor has required for you. You're able to go in and have help with those items, as well as just seeing if you really follow the requirements of the assignment. They give you great feedback. So be sure to check those wonderful resources out. We have so many, and anytime that you feel that you are struggling, definitely reach out to the academic studio, because they will get you the resources that you need in order to make sure that you are on track for success with our success coaches. Below this, we have a variety of different tools that may or may not be something that is connected to your class, and then of course the ability to sign out. So let's go into our courses now. And the first thing that I want to point out, beyond the fact that Calvin has so many classes, is that you're able to quickly filter through these. So they are laid out based on semester. So the most current courses are at the top with the way that I have it set up right now. So we have fall, and then in going backwards, we have summer, spring, fall of 24. So if you're looking for a specific course, this search bar that's at the top, you're able to type in, for example, BUSI 1301, and it will show you the courses in which Calvin has enrolled in this class. Now, you won't be enrolled as many times as he is, of course, because he did not do his work. So he's continued to have to re-enroll and not doing well. But theoretically, you should only have one BUSI 1301 that is listed if that's a course that you are taking. But it's just an easy way to sort through. So I can X out of there. I can also go over to terms, and I can say, I only want to see fall of 25. This is too busy for me. As you get more courses, you might feel overwhelmed with that. So you can just narrow it down to the current term in which you are enrolled in. So what I want to do is back out of this one. And I want to go into a specific course that I have set up, or IT, our wonderful IT department set up for me, so that I can really go in and show you things that I couldn't in a live course because there would be confidential information there. So this CTC live edition that we have going on here is the one that I'm going to show you information about your course. I will go into a live course once I complete this, but I want to be able to actually click on all of the content area and show you what we're seeing. Now, in all of our courses across the very top, this is all going to be similar. So we as faculty members are not able to change this. So whether or not we use a specific area across the top, it is still going to be there. For example, I personally do not use groups, but a lot of instructors do, but it's still there. So let's go across the top. Content is first. Content is what you see right now. So this is basically your homepage, how to navigate to all of your lessons and all of the variety of tools in your class. Now, when we were at our eagle eye view, we were looking at the calendar. We can also do the same thing in this specific class. So if we click on calendar here, it's going to look the same. It's just, I want you to note that it's only going to show you this course. So as I scroll down to the bottom, you will note that you only see one of those two purplish colors. So we see that fuchsia color right here. The other color purple is not there because that was for a different class. And you're able to do the same thing to where you go throughout the months, or you can go into the day view as well, or even just click on today to see if there's anything due today. And you'll notice in this class, there isn't. Following the calendar to the right of that, we have our announcements. Some of your instructors will utilize announcements like crazy. Others will utilize messages in their courses. It's just up to their preference, but they will be reaching out to you and communicating with you. This is my preferred method. So you will see that I have several announcements that are here. On the left-hand side, you will see that Calvin hasn't read any of them. So for example, let's go into when are assignments due. So I will click on that one, and you will see here that this is just a quick announcement from myself to all of my students, to include even being able to link to a quick video for more information about it. To get back to the announcements, and really anytime you want to back out of a specific area, you're going to click on the purple box with the white X inside of it. Careful clicking though, because if I would have clicked too quickly, I would have also X'd out of this class by clicking this purple button, and it would have taken me back to that main page. So you can see Calvin has read the message. There's a check mark. And then on my end as the instructor, I will know whether or not Calvin has read this message. So if you're not reading your messages, your instructors will be able to see that. Beyond our announcements, we have our discussions. This is an area that is just one of the assignments that we have, our discussion board. It's a quick way to get to it, but in most of your classes, it will also be linked within the lessons. So I'm going to go to it through the lessons for this tutorial here. Then we have our gradebook. As we click on the gradebook, we will see all of the assignments so far that Calvin has access to. You will see the ones that he has completed and that he has not completed. So for example, this course procedures quiz, Calvin took it, it's graded. He only got 2.5 points out of 25. And then to the far right, we're able to view the results. So depending on how your instructor has the course set up, some things you'll be able to view and see details for a quiz or an exam, and sometimes you won't. So for example, this one is hidden from feedback. And instructors do that. They hide it until all of these submissions are complete, so that students aren't going in looking up the answers and sharing answers with other people. So I'm going to back out of this one. And then I want to go into the student introduction assignment. So let's click on this one. This is actually a discussion board that Calvin participated in. Let's just see how he did. He earned 10 out of 25, which is not fantastic. And I just clicked on, let me back out so I can tell you what I clicked on. I clicked on this conversation bubble, basically, that is purple with lines through it. So that means there is feedback that is written from your instructor. So you can see here that I told him it was nice to meet him, but basically he didn't follow the instructions for this assignment, which is why he did poorly. Most of the time you're going to see a lot more feedback here from your instructor if there were areas for growth or just to discuss the topic further with you individually. This is our way of being able to communicate with you about the discussion topics. So this is, for example, one of my favorite areas because I'm able to go into a conversation and talk to my students and tell them why they did so great and give them other ideas like food for thought to think about as they move forward and why that's applicable to what they're doing. And some instructors might even give you areas for growth, but not count off. So for example, in my class, I would put in here, if it required an MLA citation, I would let Calvin know you didn't do it or you did, and here's how to improve it. It was minor, so I'm not going to take any points off this time, but here's how to fix it for the next time. So make sure to review this feedback that your instructors are giving to you. I'm going to X back out of this. And you will see here that Calvin also submitted discussion board 1. It shows it's submitted, but it's not graded. So if you're thinking to yourself, well, I think that I submitted that assignment, I can't remember if I did or not, this is the best place to go is to the grade book to see if you submitted it. It's going to show you whether or not it's graded, whether or not you submitted it. And you will see here going further down for exam 1 that this is showing as unopened. So Calvin hasn't even started exam 1 yet. So he clearly knows that's something that he needs to do. It also shows the date in which it is due. One thing I want to point out to you, please do not just go into the grade book to submit your assignments. Do not go this way. Go this way to see if you submitted it, to see what your grades are and to get your feedback. But to actually do the work, you're not going to be able to see the instructions. You won't be able to see if instructor gave you an example, if they gave you a video to follow. This is not the place to go to assignments. It's just the place to see how you did. And we'll get there, I promise. Next, over to the right is messages. So here are the messages that Calvin has either sent or received, and he is also able to create a new one. So let's start with this one right here that's at the very top. You will see he has a message that is not read from the instructor, Dr. Reese, myself. So if we click on it, let's do previous messages so you can see the whole thread. So Calvin is saying, Dr. Reese, I can't see the lessons. They're there. I can't access them. And then I replied to Calvin, letting him know why he was unable to see those lessons. And it was because he didn't verify his biometric signature ID, which we will cover. So if he wanted to reply again, he would be able to down here and just say, thank you. And you will notice that I'm glad I mistyped that because it shows you in red that there is a problem. Please address it. Still doesn't look right, so let's fix that. Thank you. And then you hit reply, and now Calvin has replied to his professor. So as we go back out of this, we can also create a new message. As we create the new messages, you will be able to click on this recipients area and send messages to specific people in the class. So if you wanted to reach out to your instructor, or maybe there's 2 instructors in your course, you could also click on all instructors, and then that would go to anybody that has the role of instructor. So you would type your message. You can also send a copy, an email copy to the recipients if it's something that is really important, and then hit send down here at the bottom. As we back out of this, I'm going to go over to that group, which of course I don't have groups set up for my classes, but those are there should you have the requirement in one of your classes. Now let's skip back over to content and go basically to our homepage. Our courses are going to be set up fairly similar across all disciplines. Each department will have things a little bit unique to them, but when we're creating these classes, we try to keep things fairly consistent across the board. So at the top, you will see some type of information from your instructor info, instructor message, instructor bio, something like that, to where you're able to learn more about your instructor, how to communicate with your instructor, and then if you have an issue, also how you can resolve that. Below this, you should have something that says getting started, start here, don't pass this up, units, something like that. So for my course, you will see that it says getting started. You will also notice that it tells students that I expect for them to have read and understood everything that is in this folder. So not reading is not an excuse for not knowing. So if we click on getting started, it's going to show us all of the items that are in this folder as resources for our students. Again, here we are with that open bubble showing that it has not been completed yet. So as Calvin, or as you go through those getting started items, you will be able to kind of keep track of where you are in your class. So since you are new to Blackboard, you're definitely going to want to click on this and read all about just some great information to help you get started. I'm not going to read it to you. I'm going to let you take care of that on your own when you have access to Blackboard, or now that you know where to go to get started. I can back out of this, or in the upper right-hand corner, I can click next, and it's going to take me to the next item. The delivery terms. Some of your instructors might have all of this information in one document in the syllabus, and some might have it in the syllabus and also outside of the syllabus, which is what I have here. I have it in multiple places for my students to be able to review the information. So if when you go into your getting started folder, it looks different, or your instructor doesn't necessarily have something that is called that, they just have the syllabus, and that means everything is contained in there. A couple of things that I want to point out to you that is very important is to understand when your class begins and when your class ends. Above this, we have a statement that tells us that you have to be active within a certain time period. So depending on how long your courses are, this time period can vary. So if it's a 3 to 5 week course, that's going to be the first few days of the course. So if you're waiting until the weekend to get started, you're going to be dropped before you even open the class. So please make sure that first day to always log in to see what this requirement is and when it is due by. So you will notice here that in this specific class that students were required to complete the course procedures quiz by this specific date. And if you're having issues, so maybe you can find the course procedures quiz, reach out to your instructor and say, you know, hey, Dr. Reese, I see I have to do this by this date and this time, but I can't find it. And then that way we're able to help guide you to where that is. Now I'm going to back out of this just so you can see what this looks like, showing you that it is partially complete. But if I click on it, it's going to show that I am now complete in that area and I am ready to go on to the next item. The next thing that you will see here is we have two different syllabi here. So the first one is going to be our old version, and then the next one is our newest. The reason I'm showing you both is because we are in a transition period. So this semester, this fall 25, when you go in, you might see this old syllabus here, or you might see the concourse syllabus. So I'm going to show you what both of them look like so that either way you're familiar. When you click on this top one, the one that is the Word document, it is going to bring us to the Word view of the syllabus. You will note that we can make it larger. We can also, on the right-hand side of the screen, click on download. So if you wanted to download it to your computer to be able to print it off, you could. And you're able to just go through, find all of the pertinent information for your class. I'm going to focus more on the concourse syllabus since that's where most of us have moved to. But I just want to show you that this one has all of the same information, the schedule of assignments, and I'm sorry, I've scrolled right past our course materials to include the ability to purchase the ebook inside the class. That is an option for some of your classes. So make sure to read all of that because it might be cheaper. And then it's also going to tell us our schedule of assignments, basically when things are due. And I'll spend more time on this when I go to the other version of the syllabus. I just wanted to scroll through so that you could see what it looked like. So let me back out of this one. And now we're going to go on to our concourse syllabus. So you will see here that it has the same information, it's just in a different format for us. So a few things that I want to focus on that are on both documents, again, just a different format. We have all of the information about our instructor. We have the meeting time. Now, this is very important. This is an online class that does not require any specific meeting time. Basically, you work when you can. In some of your other courses, it might say lecture, be on campus from 9 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. Mondays and Wednesdays. It could say blended to where you have some requirement to be on campus, some requirement to be online. So make sure that you realize what you have signed up for. You also have a course description, so you know what you are going to basically be studying, as well as the learning outcomes for completion. Below that, we have our instructional materials to where you're able to see what book you have or what book you need, and potentially the ability to purchase it in the course. Course requirements, same thing as those delivery terms that I already showed you. One thing that I do want to point out here, and note again that each department is going to be different. So the communications department and the science department and math department versus the business department might have this set up differently. So the information is going to be there. It might just be in a different spot. So you will see though that it will tell you somewhere in this on the syllabus that the type of delivery mode. You've heard me say that a few times, but let's talk about it for just a second. So this one is a self-paced online course. Now, self-paced at CTC means that we have suggested due dates along the way, and then we have milestones. Those milestones in every course are going to be different. So each instructor has that ability to make those modifications that best suit the delivery of the class that they have for you. So for example, in this course, it's self-paced. So there's going to be suggested due dates, but there's going to be firm milestones along the way. And that's it. After that firm milestone, that whole section of assignments will close out. In other courses, there might be a grace period to where you're able to submit things late for some points off. So just be sure to look at it and be sure to understand that every class will be set up different. Course schedule. This is where I reference the suggested due dates. So you will see here, all of lesson 1, we've got suggested due dates. Lesson 2, we've got suggested due dates. All of the assignments that have to be complete. And then boom, we hit our first milestone. So this is telling you that if you're in this class, everything above this row right here is going to be due and close out on the 19th of October. This is something I would definitely print out if I were you, unless you're somebody who doesn't like things printed. I do. I like to highlight and then cross off once I finished them, but you handle it how it works best for you so that you're able to be successful in your classes. Below this, we have our grade computation so that you know what your letter grade would be based on the points. The reason this area is important for you is because this is how you know what the outcome is going to be of your course based on how hard you work along the way. Please notice that there are a lot of points spread out over a lot of assignments. So in this specific class, if you only were to take the exams, you scored perfectly on them, that's 600 points. Let's scroll back up. 600 points is a D, that is not passing. So you definitely in this course would need to make sure to do your other assignments as well so that you have a well-rounded outlook on the course, you're interactive with the discussions, with the written work, and of course also taking your exams as well. Below this, you might have an area to where your instructor has given specific information about their course policies. Make sure to read those. This information is a part of the syllabus, so that means this is something that you are responsible for knowing. So for example, must I pass all of the exams? Not in this class. You're able to do that written work and the exams together to do well. Well, what if I don't hear back from you and I've messaged you? Well, I have 48 hours to reply to you, which just so you know, all of your instructors do have 48 hours to respond. So make sure to give them some time to review and to get back to you. I'm not going to go through all of the policies for my specific class because everybody has their classes set up different. But what I do want to scroll down to And before I move into our policies, one thing I want to make sure that everybody understands is that part of plagiarism is using your own work twice in two different courses. So if you are taking a course that requires you to write about yourself in whatever capacity, maybe your leadership style, and you submit it in two different classes, the exact same paper, that is plagiarism. So don't do that. Now, at the very bottom, this again is where I was telling you that we have all of the general college policies, procedures, and contacting student services. So this bottom portion will be the same in all of your classes. So take some time to check that out, even some great links to tutoring, just another way to get there. If this is easier for you, you can follow this format as well. So I'm going to go back to class, get out of the syllabus. And I'm just going to point out to please look over the rest of the information if your instructor has this section as a part of their course, because if it's there, it is something that is important. So for example, in this course, one thing I just want to point out, it requires you to set up your account for the publisher a very specific way. And if you don't, then you're not going to be able to see your assignments. So make sure to review all of these important elements for getting started and being successful in your class. The last one I want to point out to you is our BioSig BioSite introduction. So in most of your classes, you will have some component of BioSig ID or BioSite for test proctoring. If you click on this, it's going to tell you information about it. You can read all about what it is, what it does. I'm also going to show it to you. You can watch a video on how to get started. In short, basically what you're going to have to do is create a passcode. Mine is 3 lowercase l's and 1 capital L. You can use the same one I do. It is unique to you though in your biometric signature. So this is something that in a lot of your classes, you will have to verify your biometric signature. And if you have somebody else do it for you, the system is going to know and it won't allow them to continue. So make sure, of course, that you are the one taking the course and that you enter it through this enrollment process, and then you will utilize it throughout your journey at CTC. I have had mine, I think I've said for the last 12 years, for the last year and a half or so. So I think it's more like 14 years now that I've had the exact same password. And I know that a lot of people use mine because I get teased when people see me on campus sometimes and they tell me that they've used the same password that I use and that it works great for them. So just please know though that it's unique to how you complete it and how you fill it out. So that's the signature part. Then you will also read about if your instructor is using BioSite, and that is going to be the requirement to have a proctoring system on the exam. So when you go to take your exam, you'll have to enter your BioSig password, that 4-digit password, and then it will also go through the motions of getting you set up for utilizing your camera as it will be recording you in the class. So make sure that you are in a comfortable position, in wherever you're taking the exam. So make sure that if you are at your home, that it is in a room that you feel comfortable with people seeing your background, because in some of your classes, you will be required to scan the room with your computer, and others you won't. So it'll be up to your instructor and how they set that up and what they require for you. All right, so let me back out of this and close up this Getting Started folder. Beyond this, now would be time to verify our lesson verification here with that BioSig ID. So remember earlier when Calvin said, hey, Dr. Reese, I can't see any of the lessons. And I told Calvin it was because he did not complete his lessons verification. So Calvin went back and did that already. Don't worry though, I'm going to show you how to do it in a different course. But since we're in this one, I want to show you just inside lesson 1. You will see that Calvin has completed 2 of the 7 requirements in here. So as we go into lesson 1, Each of the lessons in your class will be set up very similarly. So you will have an introduction to the learning objectives, your learning activities, assignments, and depending on how the course is set up, there will be other options there for you as well. Just again, keep in mind that this is one specific course and there are many out there, so there will be different things that are listed. I also mentioned to you that the discussion boards, while they were available at the very top, they're also available with inside the lesson to link to. And it even tells Calvin that he has already completed this and completed the student introduction. And then the discussion board, you will see that he has started. This one has not finished up just yet. And then below that, we also have the exam. I am going to click on I'm going to click on the course procedures quiz because in this instance, Calvin has 2 attempts for this quiz. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it so that we can take our second attempt so you can see what this looks like. And you will notice here that it says start attempt number 2. It tells us where we can find all of the information to help us and what our time limit is going to be. So as we start attempt number 2, now it's going to ask us to start the timer. This does not have a biosite requirement connected to it because it's just the course procedures quiz. And it's presented one at a time. Some of your classes might have everything showing all at once, but this one is one at a time. So you're going to read the question, mark your answer. I didn't even read the question, just so you know. And then I'm going to hit continue. And then you read the next question. I'm not reading it. I'm going to hit continue. And then once we're finished, we'll go all the way through it. And you will notice at the top, there is a purple line that is moving forward and letting us know what is remaining in the class. So you can see that I've answered I've answered 5 questions. So as I answer more and more questions, it is going to progress forward. So I'm just going to stop. I'm not going to go through the whole test with you. And then the bottom right-hand corner, once I am finished, then I am going to submit my assignment. Your instructor may have the ability for you to filter the questions. So on the left-hand side, you're able to navigate if you want to some of the other items. So maybe we want to go just to the unanswered questions, and it's going to show us those. All right, and let's finally at the end hit submit. And it is telling me, am I sure I want to submit? I still haven't finished the test. Well, in this case, we do for time's sake. Now, you will notice here that the submission was successful. This is something that you have your confirmation. You can print this. You can take a picture of it. You can take a screenshot of it. Remember at the beginning, I showed you how to determine whether or not you wanted something emailed to you. Calvin has his set up so that he is emailed when he completes an assignment so that he has proof that he did the assignment. I'm going to go ahead and close out though. And it's going to show me now that it kept my highest grade with 5 out of 25. So I didn't do so hot, but I did better than I did the first one. So that's the one that is going to save. As I back out of this, I would just want to show you a few more things before I show you how to do your BioSig ID. Notice here that lesson 1, we had no trouble with. I'm going to close that back up. Lesson 2. Same thing, everything is here, but we haven't started yet. Then I'm going to go into lesson 3. Now you will notice that it says right here, this learning module is empty. This one is hidden from Calvin's view until a specific point in time. So right now, I as the instructor don't have it available for his view. If it were something though that you're clicking on it, it's not working, you know that it's due in a few days, you read in the syllabus that it's supposed to be available from the 18th, which was yesterday, until the 31st, that would be an appropriate time to reach out to your instructor and say, I'm unsure why I can't see lesson 3. It shows that it should be available, but I'm getting a message that this learning module is empty. I've had students ask me questions like that. It is most appropriate for you to do that anytime you are confused. In fact, I'll be honest, the other day I had somebody reach out to me asking me if I was sure the due dates were correct. And that's because I didn't enter them. So they did it in a very polite way, but it is definitely something that I was glad they did because I was able to go back and I had no idea that I had missed that on a certain course. So again, where you do that, in case you've forgotten, is just go up here and click on messages and you'll be able to reach out to your instructor. Now I am going to back out of this class just to show you now one final area, and that is going to be in looking at our BioSig lesson verification. So let me move into, I believe it is this course. I haven't done it in just yet. And I have a brand new mouse. I literally just bought 2 hours ago. So we are going to see how this works for me. All right, so in this course, as I scroll down, you're going to see lesson 1, content is not available. And if I click on it, it's going to tell me you must earn 1 point or higher on your lesson verification to access this content. So this was the issue that Calvin was having in his other course. So, but Calvin maybe just didn't see this. I'm overwhelmed, I'm just getting started. So he asked his instructor. But if you did realize what this was, then you could click on this lesson verification just above it. Again, this is this biometric signature ID, the lowercase L's and the capital L. It's going to ask me if I want to launch it. Yes, I want to launch it. And now it's going to ask me to verify my biometric signature ID to say I am who I say I am. Lowercase L's and 1 capital. Ta-da, I did just fine. Now I am back into the class. I'm going to be able to see those lessons, and I am going to be able to get started here. So with all of that said, I hope that you have enjoyed this not so short but lengthy overview of Blackboard, and also want to make sure that if you have questions along the way at all, to be sure to reach out. I will ask those that are monitoring the chat to see if there are any questions that have popped up. And it looks like I am getting a message back on my other monitor that there aren't any questions. So I do want to show one final thing that I did overlook doing. And I'm going to go back to the play course so that the CTC Live fake course. I want to show you how to actually submit a discussion board. So as I go into this one, I'm going to go into lesson 2, and I'm going to move to discussion board number 2. I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to read over this discussion topic, and then while you can just go in and type right
Dr.
here.
Dr. Reese, we don't see it.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't see it.
You don't see it?
Oh, wait. Okay, now I do.
Okay, did it pop up? I think I was having a connection issue momentarily.
I got you.
All right, so you can type in this box right here. Whoops, I didn't read the prompt. I was thinking it was a different one. And I'm just making something up. Okay. So I'm excited to talk about employee issues. So I can do, like you can in Microsoft Word, a variety of other things here. What I prefer doing personally when I'm working on a discussion board, because if something times out or something happens with your internet, this is connected there and you do not want to lose your work. So what I like to tell my students to do, just to help them, is to open a Word document, type it in the Word document, and then copy and paste it from the Word document back into your discussion board area here. And once you do that, I want to point out the word count down here at the bottom. So on the instructions, and it doesn't say it here, but it has it in another area in the course, it requires a 300 word count. You'll note here that, that Calvin only has 8. So he's a little short on this one. So if I were Calvin, I would say, I really need to amp that up just a little bit, which of course you can see in Word as well. But be sure to review your work, look over it, and make sure that you're meeting the requirements for that specific topic within your class. And again, if you have a question about that, you're able to reach out to your instructors for those as well. And let's just say that was enough and we're going to hit post. You can also save as draft. If you save as draft, it is not going to show to anybody but you. It is not submitted in any way. So I'm going to hit post, and now you will see that it shows when Calvin posted this discussion board topic. So with that, I'm going to bring us to a close today. And just remind you that if you have any issues or questions along the way, if your instructor has their course set up completely different from what I showed you, don't feel overwhelmed. Just reach out to them and let them know, hey, I want to do a great job in your class, Dr. Reese. I'm just unsure how to get started. I know I'm looking for this first week activity, but I don't know where to find it, or I can't find how to access the lessons. We are here to support you 100%, but we cannot help you if you do not reach out to us. I also want to close on, if you are taking one of those self-paced classes with milestones, don't wait till the last minute. Make sure to work on it along the way. Try to keep up with those suggested due dates, because it can be very overwhelming at the very end to realize, oh my gosh, I thought all I had to do was a quiz. Well, instead, it looks like I've got 5 quizzes, a discussion board, and an exam all due on this specific date. So keep up with your deadlines along the way. Maybe for you, it is writing it out on a big chart, whatever it is that is going to be helpful for you, or even utilizing the calendars that are here on Blackboard. We're here to support you. So thank you all, and I hope you all have a wonderful semester.